Hello everyone, good day to you and welcome to the first ever episode of Ask Everything. This is a brand new channel for me. I'm very excited to be sharing it with you, and I hope you're as excited to watch it and check it out. I want to start by just welcoming everyone to the channel. This is a great place to be. It's a place where anyone can come and just ask a question that they're interested in and get an unbiased random answer. I want to thank you for even taking a look here, and I hope that you watch the whole video and are interested in it, and possibly subscribe if you're interested in the content to move forward. Really the goal is just to get together for a couple minutes a day and just think about some stuff. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, for as long as I can remember, have always been thinking about answers to questions. And a lot of times I would have questions that I couldn't find a great answer to. Sometimes I would ask them. Other times I would just hold them in and wonder about them myself, usually to find that I had to provide my own answer to some of them because I didn't like the answers I was getting, whether I was going to a sibling or a parent or a teacher, or in the early days an encyclopedia that I'd pull off a shelf and try to find information on it, even though those books are so limited that they don't often provide anything other than simple facts. Obviously, as time has gone on, we've got search engines now that can answer just about anything that you can imagine. The only problem is I find them still somewhat limited as far as deep and expansive thinking go, and as far as creativity and true curiosity as far as answering questions go. I remember the days where I would rely on my magic 8-ball to give me an answer to questions that I had. The only problem there was there were a pretty finite amount of answers that didn't really allude to anything. I'm not attempting to be a search engine here. If you have questions that are more matter of fact or just fact-based or something that major search engines would do a better job of doing, I encourage you to continue to use those for those questions. I myself still use them on a daily basis to get answers. But if you have a question that you find interesting and would like to pursue maybe a more interesting answer to it, I think this is going to be a great platform. By no means claiming to be greater than a search engine or to be a philosopher or a counselor or psychiatrist, anything like that whatsoever. I'm just a curious guy who likes to think about things and possibly form different answers than I can find on the pieces of paper or on the internet. So the purpose of the channel really is to just promote thought and curiosity and imagination, and to let that lead to discussions and maybe even debates, but in a healthy way. I just think it's a great time in the world to be thinking about things a little more outside the box. And I know oftentimes when we have questions that we might think are a little too unique for the people around us to ask, to them, we end up sometimes just shelving them. And that to me is a dead end, because it's taking away the possibility of actually having a great discussion and getting somewhere with our thoughts, expanding on them. So I want this to be a really safe place to come for any question whatsoever. Literally anything you can imagine. My goal is to provide an unbiased point of view, and to again create just a safe area for an open exchange via these videos as well as the comments section. And my hope is also that it will be a judge-free zone. I know that's really hard to contemplate in modern society, but I have no interest in passing judgment. I think, again, there are courts of laws and other places where that can take place if that's something you're interested in. I just truly believe, though, that if you're sitting out there with a question, that you are probably not the first person to be wondering that question in some capacity. Even if you are and you have a completely unique question to the universe that's never been pondered before, there's a fair chance that either someone else will come along to have that question at some point, or at least be very interested in the question and the possible answer, upon hearing that question asked. Sometimes that's all it takes. I do believe that the beauty of this platform is that it's kind of an anonymous exchange. It's free of charge. And I do believe that the beauty of it is that it could be contagious, whereby even though I'm only one person answering your question, you can take my answer and, you know, encourage others to see what they think about it, and maybe even, you know, let what I am able to provide open your mind a little more and expand your thoughts on it, or someone that you really like to talk to can get their opinion on it too, and just let this be kind of, you know, something that's infinitely potential, you know, as far as how it can go on and serve us all. Again, all I want to do here is inspire people, and just to motivate people, challenge people, and again, expand our kind of thought horizons. I really do believe that new perspectives are really important in a world where so much of the information we get comes through the mainstream media in a 24-hour news cycle. Everyone's reporting the same thing. Not that there aren't great journalists out there doing some more interesting work, but for the most part, a lot of the stuff that we receive today is just monotonous and repetitive and, you know, so narrow-minded. My idea is that this could be an escape from that world, and, you know, just something that opens up a whole new way, or just a different way or expanded way of pondering things. So that's a little bit about my goals for the channel. I want to just give anyone that's still watching, hopefully you are, a quick rundown on kind of the structure of what these uploads will look like. It's pretty basic, but my goal is to, first of all, get the questions flowing in. So you can leave questions in the comment section. You can also send an email if you're interested in doing that, or more comfortable doing that if you'd like to remain completely anonymous. The email address for this channel is pretty straightforward. It will be askEeverything@gmail.com. Every day I'll review questions, and we'll pick a couple out that are fascinating to me. And again, with the assumption being that if I'm fascinated or interested in them, others will be. And then we'll go about answering them. The plan is to have kind of a couple different sections each session. The first one in the main section is going to be called My Thorough Thought. That will be where I take one question that I'm, you know, more deeply interested in exploring, and dedicate a good portion of time, somewhere between maybe 5 and 7 minutes, of just kind of asking that question, posing it, and kind of going over how I processed it thought-wise, and where I've arrived, you know, as far as my best answer at the time for it. I think that'll be a great one to, as I said, kind of continue to talk about even after the video is over. After that round, I plan on doing something called the rapid round. This is where I'll select, you know, a handful of questions that are a little more straightforward or don't require as in-depth an answer, and kind of go through those just in 30-second increments or what have you, and just kind of get some fun ones out there. That would be a good section to just cover some simple yes or no answers, or just opinion-based questions or what have you. I think that could be a lot of fun. And the final section is going to be called Flip the Script. The idea here is that it'll be my turn to ask you folks a question that I think is a fun one or an important one to consider or to ponder. And that will be just based not necessarily on the rest of the content of the video, just something that I come up with that will be posed to you. And again, this will all be ways of just creating this great exchange between viewers, myself, and all of your fellow friends, family, whoever you end up wanting to share this with. As far as my first question for today, if we can want to do a mock version of the Flip the Script section, it's as simple as it could be. What are you curious about? You know, what is something you want to hear someone's perspective on that might not be someone that you've already had a lot of discussions with? It's a great place to start, and so really the main goal today is just to get some questions flowing in about your curiosities, and we'll get the ball rolling. I do hope if you're interested in this in any way that you will consider watching. I would love to get some subscribers and some emails and some comments and eventually some likes. I'm new to this, but I, again, am doing it mostly out of just a fascination of expanding the way that we all think about all the amazing things that go on in this universe. So my hope is just to have some fun. I want to remind everyone out there that the only dumb question is the one that goes unanswered, as far as I'm concerned. I know oftentimes the expression is phrased as the only dumb question being the one that goes unasked, but I don't think it's just important enough to ask it, specifically not to just ask it to ourselves and never seek an answer. So I believe that we need to answer these questions one way or another, and I think it's a great way to get started. So I just want to remind you to check out for future uploads. Should be coming daily if all goes well. Send me some questions, and I just want everyone out there to be courteous and be curious. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks for checking this out.